Coming up on this second hour of American Sunrise, President Trump calls it a Psy-pocalypse, and he says Chicago is about to learn why it's now the Department of War on Truth Social. I love the smell of deportations in the morning, he writes. ICE is mobilizing. Troops are in position. Democrats are melting down. The raid is on. We've got the details ahead. Plus, Israel on the edge. Netanyahu demands a full-on Gaza City assault, while his top general says it's a deadly mistake. A dramatic power struggle is unfolding as we speak, and the stakes couldn't be any higher. Plus, an outrage. The Capitol Hilton is just steps away from the White House, and it's reportedly being sold off to a Saudi-linked billionaire who is also an arms dealer and allegedly has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. It's a developing story that we're working to confirm all the details on for you. All of that and so much more is ahead. Plus, a young Phillies fan gets a home run ball, or so he thought. Then a woman in the crowd demanded it, harassing his dad until he actually gave it up. We've got the viral video for you and the internet and how it erupted. All of that and so much more coming your way right.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
And welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody, coming to you from the highly guarded Washington, D.C. Thank you, National Guard. Let's bring in Dr. G. She's in West Palm. T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning to both of you. I hope your weekend was great. I did a 20-mile bike ride in D.C. And
Yes, I
after
saw that.
Thank you. And after I crossed the finish line.
Where the heck did this come from? You know, our moderator in the YouTube chat, Jennifer, is a lethal athlete. And I don't know if did you get her approval before you did this?
I did not. I probably should have, because the only thing I said literally after the crossing the finish line was, quote, I need a cheeseburger. That was it, T. Bates. That was the end of it for me.
You know what? I'm impressed that you're not in traction this morning, that you're actually able to be here with us and with your full faculties. That's impressive alone. If I drive, forget ride a bike. If I drive 20 miles, it can end in disaster sometimes. So kudos to you. Hey, guys, let's get to this morning's big stories. Jury selection in the case of the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump, then, of course, he was a presidential candidate, is set to get underway this morning. In fact, the case involves Ryan Ruth, who investigators say was waiting to shoot the current president while he was golfing in Florida last September. It was the second attempt on Mr. Trump's life. Federal Judge Aileen Cannon has blocked off 4 weeks for the upcoming trial, although prosecutors don't expect it to last that long. The defendant in the case is expected to represent himself. Judge Cannon signed off on the request back in July. However, court-appointed attorneys, will be on standby to assist if needed. The 59-year-old has pleaded not guilty of attempting to assassinate a major presidential candidate, assaulting a federal officer, and several firearms violations. 2 winners will split the Powerball's nearly $1.8 billion jackpot. The haul was the second largest in Powerball history. The winning tickets were sold in Texas and in Missouri. Texas lottery officials say the winning ticket there was bought in Fredericksburg, which is about 35 miles from Kerrville, which of course is still trying to recover from the devastating flooding that happened earlier this summer. The store is now eligible to collect $250,000 for selling that winning ticket. Another jackpot is up for grabs following tonight's drawing. At the moment, $20 million is available for whoever might win that. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get a quick check of your nationwide forecast from our WeatherNation friends. Meteorologist Tracy Anthony joining us. Tracy, did I hear you say earlier in the break that you work out 7 days a week? 7 every single day?
No, that was definitely, I believe, one of the producers that was on.
Oh, that was somebody else. I thought it was you. My bad. My bad.
I wish.
Okay,
you know,
I was
we
just
can
like,
tell
wow.
everybody that. Yeah. let's go with that. Terrence, we've been talking to this morning earlier, 20-degree morning temperatures, areas across Minnesota, the Dakotas, and the Wisconsins. Just not ideal. So we're starting off cool. We've got that cooler air that's working in across the Great Lakes and out across the Northeast. And we're starting cool, and so we're going to struggle to warm up. Now, we're warming up a little bit more than where we were at yesterday, but we're still trending a good 5-10 degrees below average for this time of year. Out east. Now, out west, that's where we've had some warm temperatures, and we've actually had several dozen wildfires spark and start just this month, so just since September started. So we're dealing with some dense smoke, so air quality alerts are in place for the Pacific Northwest, and some of that smoke is going to get kicked up and it's going to be brushed across most of the U.S. So as you check out a sunrise or a sunset, you may see some haze out there on the horizon. But rain showers for the Pacific Northwest and the Central Plains over the next couple of days. But I know I'm covering it up. Want to show you Florida here. This is where they're going to be inundated with tropical-like moisture here for the next 5 days. They're going to be picking up anywhere from 5 to 8 inches. I know I have my umbrella handy. And speaking of the tropics, the other big story, we're tracking Hurricane Kiko, and Hurricane Kiko continues to make its pass just north of the Hawaiian Islands. So they're going to be dealing with some large swells. They'll also have some strong rip currents and some stronger winds. Now, they won't have a direct impact. They're just going to be on the outskirts. So, Terrence, those are your top weather headlines across the country.
Thanks so much, Tracy. Appreciate it. And since you don't work out 7 days a week either, we can be best friends because I'm definitely not working out. Then again,
yeah, I'm with you on
Thanks,
this one.
Tracy.
Yeah.
I know it, right? Thanks so much. All right, let's get you over to David Brody now. DB, 20 miles you did on a bicycle, so you got in your workout for the week just in that one sitting. Get it? Sitting on the bike? Oh, that's pretty good, Terrence.
Nicely played, T. Bates. All right. Speaking about strong rip currents, Chicago, get ready this week, but that's... Let's talk about an extremely valuable new podcast that's out there. Former top Trump administration official Katie Miller joining us this morning because she's got the hottest podcast out there. She hosts this just in, the Katie Miller podcast. Now, that's a good name,
Wow.
Katie. Great to have you with us on the show. Appreciate you.
Well, unfortunately, you're just blessed with your name that you're given. But I found that I was going to start a podcast that's meant for conservative women to talk to conservative women where they are, because I think there's so much divisiveness in politics. There isn't anywhere out there, because it seems like these days everyone has a podcast, but there isn't really anything for conservative women who share my values, healthy living, healthy families, healthy marriages, or not, what's out there, but being welcoming of everyone in the conservative space to be able to talk about things more than politics. And so I decided to launch my own podcast, the Katie Miller Podcast. So far, we've had everyone on from Vice President Vance, Joe Gebbia, who you're seeing on your screen, the co-founder of Airbnb. We've had Sage Steele, who has a tremendous story of her leaving ESPN because of comments she made in the political space. Future episodes will be phenomenal. Today, we're launching an episode with Mike Tyson on his routine and how he lives healthy. And I think that's really important, that women out there don't just have something that's political every day, that there's something that talks about real life, that window into somebody else's life. Because what I found in my personal life is that we are all so similar, no matter where we live in the country, no matter what we do for work, that moms at the end of the day, we're just trying to give our kids a healthy meal, create good children, and get our kids to bed. And some nights are terrible. I have kids that are 4, 3, and 2, but some nights are amazing. And I want to be able to share that with people, no matter, and have women support other women, because I find too often that we aren't doing that. And so that's what I'm trying to do on the podcast.
Katie, I'm really looking forward to the Mike Tyson interview. I mean, that's going to be awesome. Mike Tyson, he's awesome. All right, sorry. I'm going to do a bit of an audible, though, since Dr. Gina is really your audience here. Dr. Gina, go ahead. I'm sure you have some questions, and then I'll come later. But I think it's appropriate, since you're kind of her audience, that you might have a question.
Okay, then. I will, Terrence. I don't know how to follow your Mike Tyson impersonation there. Katie, it is so interesting how it seems like men in politics, I don't know, they kind of leave themselves alone. They kind of do, but you do see, if I'm being really candid about this, a lot of clawing at each other where women are concerned. I'll hear all the time, oh, so-and-so doesn't work with other women. You think, what? How do you eliminate 50% of your workforce or 50% of your, why is that about women? What is the competitiveness with women that tends to divide so many of them?
We saw in the 2024 election that President Trump went on so many male-dominated podcasts, right? You had Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, the Nelk Boys, but there really wasn't that female alternative that has a core female audience. I don't know why more women aren't doing podcasts, but I can tell you the experience that I've received since launching this has been tremendous from other women. But I don't know why there's not more women in this space. I don't know why more women can't cheer each other on. But it's very exciting to be able to do this and have the support of so many colleagues and so many friends and so many amazing women. One of the pillars of my show is this Make America Healthy Again movement, this eating right and ensuring what we know goes in our bodies and making sure we feel good, because that's an example I want to set for my children. And so with that, I had a podcast interview coming up with Dr. Kellyanne Petrucci, the founder of the Bone Broth Diet. We had Sage Steele on, who is definitely that example of healthy living and healthy eating. We're also having Jillian Michaels as well. So it'll be really exciting.
Yeah, and Katie, this is what the media misses. They want to just bash RFK and the whole vaccine stuff. What they're missing is that what you're talking about here, the MAHA movement, is really tracking in just kind of regular suburban independent households. Not about even MAGA. It's about just common sense out there where people are asking questions, especially about our health.
Yeah, I mean, I helped Bobby Kennedy. If you remember, I was his Sherpa in the U.S. Senate. I do that in my personal life. Stephen Miller and I are very big into healthy living, healthy eating, as I keep saying, but we are seed oil free. I grow my own fruits and vegetables in our garden. And those are things that, while I'm not producing enough, surely, for our entire year, it is enough to show my kids that this is where our food comes from. And this is why we make healthy choices, because if you're educating your children, you're helping them make good decisions. This isn't necessarily to say that I live by the 80-20 rule, right? That you live the best you can, but I also live in the real world where there is Domino's at kids' birthday parties, and you sometimes drink out of a plastic water bottle, and it is not the end of the world. What is most important is teaching why we make certain choices. So when I take my kids to the grocery store, my 4-year-old screams, "Mommy, that's organic." I don't think she can read. She can just see the label. And to me, that's what this is all about.
All right. Well, Katie,
one of the things that strikes me as I'm listening to, one of the things that strikes me as I'm listening to you, and I realize your audience, your focus is obviously on conservative women, but these are themes, these are values even, if you will, that are cross-generational, that are cross-gender. These are things that I, as a father, can identify with and want more information on.
Absolutely. And while I say conservative women, we welcome men too. We are not discriminatory. The most important thing is just being able to, for example, Mike Tyson isn't a woman and he's on tonight's show, but what does a conservative woman think about or want to hear about? It's not just those sex, health, reproductive areas that everyone wants to call a women's issue. Women's issue are every issue. It's just how we talk about it. We talk about it just a little bit differently than men do. And so I would think this crosses all areas, and I welcome everyone to listen to the podcast. I certainly find it fascinating. I learn something new every episode. And so I hope you do too. We're available everywhere you get a podcast: Apple, Spotify, X, YouTube. And I would please remind, and Rumble, and please tell everyone to like, follow, and subscribe, because if I've learned anything, it's to say those words. And so please join me in this ride.
Katie, thanks so much for being here and sharing this with us.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Katie.
Coming up, the squad, speaking of women, loves to preach socialism, but when it comes to their own bank accounts, well, it's a straight up hardcore capitalism. Congresswoman and squad member Ayanna Pressley, who once camped out in the Capitol steps to demand rent cancellation, is now cashing rent checks and getting rich. These details just ahead. Also later, after weeks of headlines and hysteria, Trump's numbers are rising. That and so much more as American Sunrise returns right now.